Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Topher and I started this channel because I'm a fan of craft beer, but I'm also on a limited budget and I wanted to demonstrate it was possible to enjoy good quality beers without having to break the bank. I also wanted to demystify some of the mystery that goes around beer as well as remove some of the elitism. So on this channel I try to educate as best I can, including myself. I try to keep my beers usually around the $2 price range when I'm reviewing a 12-ounce beer. Today's beer is a 16-ounce pint can, so I actually paid $3.67 for it, which is a colossal deal considering the extraordinary beers that I got from Liquor Lineup. Liquor Lineup is located on Losee Road in North Las Vegas. They are not sponsored. I'm simply telling you because I like to share good information about good beers. You need to get yourself over there, or you need to get to their website if you're a fan of their beers. Picked up 15 beers for $55, and that's including the delivery fee. So I can't beat them with a stick. They've got a customer for life in me. Today's selection is an Imperial IPA with an, I believe it was 8%? Yes, 8% ABV. Typically, American Imperial IPAs come in between 7.5 and 10%. So this is actually on the slightly lower end of the Imperial IPA scale. This is the product from Short Throw Brewing. They are out of, I believe, um, North Haven, Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, North Haven, Connecticut. Here's the deal with short brew, short throw brewing. Well, I will say that correctly eventually. Short throw brewing. Went to their website. There is a website, but there's like nothing there. There's basically a date of 2019 on it. There's nothing added to it. Now it does show here, and I'm going to show you here on the here we go. Here we go. We've got the Instagram logo there, and what is the other one? I go with that. I guess that's just the website. So they do have an Instagram presence. They've got a website that doesn't have any information on it, but really there's very, very little information to be garnered about this or about this beer or the brewery itself. In fact, I only had one friend on Untapped, my man Jeff M. Is the only one who's actually checked in on this beer. He gave it a 4.25, so clearly he liked it. There's been only 2,541 of us on Untapped who've even checked it in, gave it a 4.07. Beer Advocate has had 18 rankings, and the average score there is 4.06. The overall score is 90, which on their scale is outstanding. So there you have it. But once again, I really I don't have a lot of information about this beer or this brewery because there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot out there. I am going to be using my tulip glass when drinking an imperial ale of any variety. Or even if you're drinking an imperial pilsner, which is not an ale, try to use a tulip glass. What makes this specifically tulip, it's not just the bulbous bottom down here. Apparently the bulbous bottom doesn't have to happen, but it does need to flare out here at the ends. That's what makes this a tulip, and that's what makes it appropriate for an imperial IPA. All right, let's crack this bad boy open. See what we got going here. I don't have an IBU count on this beer. There was no IBU count provided at either the website, and sometimes, actually, in fact, oftentimes, Untapped will have IBU count, and I didn't have one here. I'm already smelling the hops. I haven't even done a beard wipe yet, but I'm already smelling the hops. Guys, what you're seeing is pretty close to the natural color of this beer, maybe half a shade darker. Actually, it's not even a shade. I'd say it's a tint. It's just a little more tint to what you're seeing, but basically the same shade. I am going to describe that as medium-low carbonation. I mean, I can see some bubbles coming up, but not a whole lot. That head, well, I'm going to describe it as semi-resilient. It seems to be, the bubbles seem to be going rather quickly, but at the same time, it's still standing there strong. As I said, I can smell the hops. I can actually smell something of citrus. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick beard wipe, see what I encounter. Smell very pineapple-y. Let me stick my schnoz directly and see what else I get. Yeah, a lot of pineapple, a lot of citrus, very hop forward. I get the feeling this is going to be very, very juicy. It just sure smells juicy. So I'm going to quit yapping my flap and start doing some drinking. Cheers. Mmm, very tasty, very tasty. Um, Overall, first impression is going to describe that as probably a medium-low mouthfeel, a little bit of spikiness to it, not a whole lot. Slightest bit of alcohol burn really comes through more on the aftertaste than on the initial contact with the tongue. It is juicy. It's got almost a tropical flavor to it. Honestly, more tropical than even citrus. Although there is a citrus presence, and I think the citrus is kind of what's adding to the spikiness of the mouthfeel. As I said, a little bit of alcohol burn. The finish is actually very dry. I mean, like by the time it finally, the last bits of liquid roll off the tongue, you find yourself wanting more. I mean, it's good. Hats off to them because they figured out a way to make you keep drinking more and more of their beer with that exceptionally dry finish. Now I think this is a good beer. Uh, in fact, what this is telling me is that maybe I've been a little too maybe I've been a little too prone to push away expensive IPAs. The thing is, though, there's just so many IPAs out there, guys. Please, please, brewers, please, American brewers, please consider making beers other than IPAs. I love IPAs. They're great. They're one of my favorite varieties. But honestly, guys, start making some beers other than IPAs. And considering that you seem to be a fairly young brewery, Short Throw, I'm going to ask you, please, please, as you go out and you make more beers and you're increasing your inventory and your selections, please consider making beers that are not IPAs. This is a good IPA. I'm enjoying this IPA. It's actually an Imperial IPA. It's not particularly boozy. It is full of flavor. I'm going to go ahead and give the beer itself a 4.0, and for coming in a can, it's going to get that extra 0.25. So the total score that I'll be giving this beer on Untapped is 4.25. I think it's a good beer. I'm more than ready to try other selections from Short Throw Brewing. So hopefully they're just a little behind in getting everything up and going. Hopefully this is not I hope they're just a little lagging behind rather than, having difficulty getting completely off the ground or keeping things in motion because they seem to make pretty good beers and I hope to try more from them. Well, guys, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.